Hi, family. This is Dr. Mo with Moya Body Care and Colon Hydrotherapy, and I am your favorite colon hydrotherapist that practices the sacred art of colon hydrotherapy, herbs, and natural living. Today is Sunday. I teach on Sundays, but today was very unique. I had a very special population reach out to me. And the client is let's see how old he is, 36-year-old black male that is paralyzed from the waist down. He was shot in his spine. The bullet ricocheted through his colon. He had to have sections of his colon removed. As I'm speaking to his primary caretaker, who is his mother, as I'm asking her very specific questions about the accident, the time, the care, the aftercare, the post-bowel training, her anxiety goes through the roof and she shuts off. She's done. Nobody has helped her with him. The incident happened in 2017. Up until this point, she has had numerous medical professionals tell her he will end up with a colostomy bag and we can't do nothing for him. Just drug him and he'll be okay. Put him in the corner. That's what they told her. A young, vibrant black man that was unfortunately shot. This shit is heavy as hell. Let me just tell you, it's heavy. It's heavy. His mother is spiraling downward. She's done. There is nobody supporting her. All of his so-called homies, best friends, girlfriends, or whoever that was on his little crew and in his heart space prior to him getting shot, where they at? I asked her that. She was like, Mo, zero. I said, exactly. Motherfuckers, excuse my French, but that's just how I feel, because when I see this young black man, I see my son. So the mother starts to go in about everything that she needs, and I had to stop her. I said, love, I said, I can only do one thing at a time. I cannot hold both of you and your son in light. I can work with both of you, but not at the same time. Let me focus on him. What's this in my hair? And then I will focus on you. She's like, fair enough. Thank you. I'm going to need you to hold on for a second, player. So the beautiful thing about my young male client who is paralyzed from the waist down is that he still can feel in certain areas, which is a huge plus. I was hoping he felt something, and he does. I massaged up and down his spine. He felt it all, and I was like, yes! Oh my God. And then I said, can you move your legs? There's some movement. I was like, sir, get ready for a significant transformation if you want it. You got everything you need to get back on track if you want it. So he has been constipated for an obscene amount of time. I'm just going to say months. When his mother, his primary caretaker, told me that the level of anger that bubbled up in my body, that this young man's heart space is under so much unnecessary pressure. He has lost a good amount of his body autonomy. I can only imagine his ego is just shot to all be damned. It's gone. He's a young black man who's in a wheelchair, who's constipated, whose friends have been MIA, just disappeared. So not only is he dealing with the physicality of his reality, he's dealing with the emotional and the spiritual foundation that he thought he had, that he could tap into, and them motherfuckers are gone. So he's dumping all of that onto his mother. All of it. So I asked her, his mother, how are you being supported? She starts crying. Say less, sis. There's no best friend. There's no male partner. There's no husband. Her parents are deceased. The next, aunts, uncles, or whoever it is, they're not talking for whatever reason. Give it 1,001 reasons on why black families are so broken and we can't get it together. It's a whole nother headache that creates great digestive upset. And I really would like to not have to always have to resort to this is the problem. It's like after 1,001 people who are all doing the same thing, you would think somebody would get it. You would think somebody would say, okay, we can't keep doing this for another generation. So I get this young man on the table for his colonic because his medical providers and the team have said to him that we will not manually evacuate you anymore. You can either continue to do it yourself or you will have a colonoscopy bag. Those are your two options if you want us to continue to help you. This young man is 36, 37 years old. 36 years old. Why the hell would he go and say, yes, I'll have a colonoscopy bag? Coloscopy bag. So the mother was in a desperate search. I'm not even sure how she found me. And she called me. And then here we are. On a Sunday. Because I couldn't get him in until Friday. And he was in a lot of pain already when he called. And I said, okay. So I get him on the table. And he is completely mobile. Like, he can get himself on the table. He's not a terribly heavy dude, so he can do it himself, which I was, like, so grateful. I mean, I weigh $125 weight. I could do it. If I need to, I could get in there and, like, do it. But do I want to do it? No. If I have to do it, yes, I'll do it. I've been trained to do all that. I know how to lift and transport, and I got all that. I train colon therapists to do that. If I need to do it, I can do it. So he gets on the table. He rolls over onto his side. I start the steam and the infrared light, and he immediately starts to turn into a baby. He starts to soften. It just started cracking immediately. This poor child just needs to be loved on. That's his only issue. So I just rubbed his back. And he just laid there and he just wept pretty much. He just wept. He just cried. And I just held this 36-year-old man and just rubbed his back until he was ready for me to start the colon therapy session. Like, what? Look, I don't mind doing this, but it should never get to this point. So we get started, and I explained to him that I'm going to insert the speculum, and I just was like feeling on his hip bone and down his thigh. I said, do you feel this? Do you feel that? He's like, it's not direct. He said, but I feel something. I was like, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. So we're going to take each step slow, 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 slow. Okay? So if this was his rectum, this is the speculum, my finger. I set the speculum near his rectum, and I kind of moved it back and forth and like pressed on his rectum. I said, do you feel that? He's like, no. And I said, it's okay. It's fine. So I started sliding the speculum in. I said, do you feel that? He was like, I feel something. I said, what you feel is me pushing up against the fecal matter. That's how impacted he was. So we start the flow of water very gently. And this young man released. He just released. It was so much. I haven't been this overwhelmed with a client in a long time. This young man, whew, and it rolled out like when a plumber unplugs a pipe that has mud and stuff in it, and it pushes the mud out real slow, and all of a sudden it just starts coming out. That's exactly what happened to this young man. And it just kept happening, like at least minimum 8 times. Minimum 8 times. I probably used about 20 underchucks. I went through 3 speculums because they got so filled and thick, it just stopped. So I had to literally just take the whole speculum, tubing, and everything out, wrap it up, throw it away, remove some of the chucks, throw it away, replace them with clean ones, clean his backside up with great reverence and care and gentleness, because you have to remember that individuals that are in wheelchairs and individuals that are sitting a lot and they can't feel their extremities will have bed sores. Their skin is a lot thinner, so you can't just pull stuff from underneath them. You will create a whole nother emergency. And so I'm moving him very gently and with great respect. He is a young black man, and I'm a woman helping him do this. A rather cute woman, I may add. So that adds a little bit more. Oh, Jesus Christ, this is heavy. So we go through it. And this young man looks back at me and he says, I'm sorry. Baby. Oh. And I think I said, baby. I said, sir, you don't ever have to apologize about receiving the rightful care that is due to you. Sir, this is so overdue. This is so overdue. This is so overdue. I said, it is an honor to literally hold your booty in light. It is an honor, sir. Don't you ever fucking forget it. That young man released pounds of fecal matter. Pounds of fecal matter. I clean him up. I clean my table up. And he complimented me on my bedside manners. He's like, you are like a fucking professional. I was like, who did you think was helping you, sir? This ain't no fly by night in. Like, this is VIP, okay? And he's like, yeah, this is VIP. So I get him to the restroom, and he's like, what? You even put the toilet seat paper down for me? And I said, yeah. And I said, and here are some gloves. And he was like, you even got me gloves? And I was like, I know you do this manually, sir. It is my job to support you. I know what to do. And he looks at me, and he grabs my hand, and he was like, Mo, thank you so much. And I was like, have fun. So I backed up, closed the door, and he did his thing. I go stand outside to get some much needed air, and his mother was sitting in the car, and she like jumps up. It's like, I guess she just automatically assumed something was wrong. And I stopped her. And I said, whatever it is that you're doing, keep doing it. I said, he is good. I said, you can continue to rest. I'm just standing outside getting some air. She collapsed back into the car because she's exhausted. So I walked over to her and I just kneeled by the car, you know, and just helped her a little bit with conversation and being a woman and just trying to make things light for her. And when I went to go walk away to go check on her son, she grabbed my hand. She grabbed my hand and she just said, I know God sent you. Man. They left smiling. My client came out of my office in his wheelchair and he leaned back and he like moved his legs like that. And he was like, I can go to the club now. He was like, Mo, you saved my life. Oh my God. Oh, shit. So I'm going to go get me something good to eat because I am done for the day. This was my experience with my client who is paralyzed from the waist down, who finally has some relief and can live a life without being in pain. Whee! My name is Dr. Mo, and I am your favorite colon hydrotherapist that practices the sacred art of colon hydrotherapy, herbs, and natural living. My website, moyabodycare.com, and my phone number is 562-682-0818. I'm going to go love on my nervous system. Until then, stay magical.